How's it guys, Munash here, and today we have an Abyssal Mega Solo with Cosmic Ghost Rider. And of course without any boosts, suicides or synergies, just so you can see how practical it really is. I do have the Nick Fury synergy, but that's just by default because I would bring him anyway. And I kind of needed him to take down the Quake after this fight. Speaking of Quake, I didn't actually have her because she was an Alliance quest at the time. Then I forgot why I wanted to bring her, so I brought Ant-Man for the Evade synergy instead. Then I realized that I actually needed her for Abyss Mephisto. I was actually going to try and Quake Mephisto so I could try out CGR on Ghost as well. But I only realized after I took down Thing with Stalled Spidey, and I wasn't going to do that fight again because that was like, what, over 850 hits, a little bit more. And Omega was next anyway, so I could at least try out CGR here. So this is one of the easier fights in Abyss to solo. I just wanted to try CGR just to see if he can actually handle these type of health pulls with these type of restrictions. You know, there is the hit cap, the increase of ability accuracy, so more evade when they hit those warfare charges. And yeah, the Abyssal ability doesn't make that much of a difference in this fight as long as you don't get hit by a special attack. But it is still a very stacked fight. He has about 2.65 million health, and you need to take him down in about 260 hits. So the strategy for this fight is going to be quite different to what I usually do in Labyrinth type of fights, because here you do have a hit cap instead of a time cap, you know. So I try to maximize damage per hit instead of trying to get the fight done quickly or try to do a lot of damage quickly. So in order to do that, what I actually need to do now is utilize the special 3 rotation a lot more. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to build up to the special 3 without triggering the power gain judgment, so without ending a combo with the light attack. But I'll still trigger 2 or 3 judgments before the special 3, and then the special 3 will give you 2 more judgments because you get the Fury and it's a special attack. So you want to trigger Vigilance, the medium ender, trigger Dex, and also trigger the Aptitude with the heavy attack, which will put you at 3 judgments, and then you throw the special 3 to complete the cycle. Then after that, while you have 5 judgments on him, or while you have the power lock or damnation if he's duped, you can still trigger the power gain with the light attack. And because you have 5 judgments, it's going to be a much longer power gain than usual, because these buffs do get plus 20% duration for each judgment, and when you have 5 it actually doubles. Although in that previous cycle I kind of messed up a little bit by forgetting to trigger Dex. Not really a huge deal, but it does mean less power gain during this cycle, which kind of makes the fight slightly slower. But yeah, that's basically how you do the Infinite Special 3 loop, I think it's called. Yeah, I don't know, I just call it the Special 3 cycle. But yeah, you can do that pretty much throughout the fight, and that'll be a good way to maximize damage per hit because the Special 3 only counts as 1 hit in the Abyss. And CGR Special 3 does 11 hits, so that's why the hit count's gonna look pretty high at the end. Also, that's why the fight took about 10 minutes, just because of all those Special 3 animations. I think I threw at least 10 Special 3s in this fight. And that's the thing about CGR in Abyss, is that you do need to rely on the Special 3 a lot more than in other content, which isn't the most fun way to play him all the time, you know, because you have to watch a lot of Special 3 animations instead of actually playing or interacting with the screen. One thing I'd love this game to have is a Special 3 skip or fast forward button, you know, just so you can get through these animations a lot quicker. Because I mean, as cool as they are, you've seen them, or at least you end up seeing them hundreds of times if you play the champ a lot. Like Doom for example, as much as I love his Special 3 animation, I've done the Doom cycle so many times, I've seen it done so many times that now I see it as like, okay, well, yeah, it's not really that exciting anymore, I just want to move on with the fight, you know? So instead of just going constantly with the Special 3s, what I would do is, if I have 2 Fury buffs by the next cycle, I'll just throw a Special 2. So I'll still get the power gain as usual before the new cycle begins, but then I avoid hitting him until I get to 2 bars, otherwise I'll gain too much power and get another Special 3. So just parry heavy, Special 2. And with 2 Furies and 2 Aptitudes, the Special 2 hits hard. Like, did you see that? That one Special 2 did about 365,000 damage. That last hit actually hit the damage cap. That is an absurd amount of damage. So satisfying to produce as well with those big yellow numbers. The only downside is after that, or after those buffs expire, you sort of have to start again. So you're gonna build up to a Special 3 the slow way. And because of that, I'm throwing more heavy attacks just to maximize damage per hit, since the heavy is only 1 hit. So I can build up in less hits, and then I want to bait a special attack before I throw my own Special 3. He took a bit of time to throw it here, which is why I was just dropping 1 light attack after parrying, just so I don't lose skirmish charges. Then eventually he does throw the Special 1. And once again, to avoid losing skirmish charges, I avoid parrying and just go straight to the special 3 after his special 1 animation ends. Also, what you can do is right after the special 3 animation, you can start a new combo because they put you pretty close to each other after the special 3 animation. So you can drop a medium attack right after that and it might actually connect as long as they don't dash back or block. Or evade, which is what happened here. Although I think he would have blocked anyway. So the cycle is over, drop that light ending combo for that really long power gain. Then the new cycle begins, so drop that medium ending combo. Then I try to dex the special 1 just so I can get that second judgment. Then I can heavy whiff during the animation and throw another special 3. And at this stage we are halfway through the fight in terms of hits left and his health. Although the first half of the fight is usually slower because you generally spend more time ramping up, then the last 18% of the fight is usually the fastest if you have Assassin Mastery. And I do have Assassin, but only at level 1. So once again I have 2 Fury buffs, so I'm gonna parry heavy, get to 2 aptitudes, and then throw a special 2 because this fight is just too boring if you only use special 3s. They're good for maximizing damage per hit, but the special 2 is just so much more fun. And it still works here, so not an issue. And now the fight is moving along quite nicely, have just over 100 hits to take down the last third of the fight. Which is good because we started with about 260 hits, so we're actually doing pretty well in terms of hit count. And we still have Assassin to look forward to. So usually the second half of the fight is quicker, but it can also be more difficult because they have plus 100% ability accuracy, so more chance to evade. Instead of that 1%, it's going to be 2% now. And evade is one of the biggest killers to a CGR rotation because one little evade can mess you up. Even if they don't actually punish you, it can still mess up your rotation because maybe now you have to dex to avoid getting hit, which means you don't get the big precision buff from the special 2. Or maybe they'll evade your light ending combo when you have 5 judgments. Then the judgments expire before you can get in that light ending combo, then you don't get that big power gain. You know, it's stuff like that. And that's why I'm not sure I would bring Cosmic Ghost Rider into the Abyss if I actually was trying to clear a path. Because he does have a slightly more complicated playstyle than the average champ you'd bring into the Abyss. And he does kind of rely on good AI behavior to a certain extent. But the main reason I wouldn't rely on him for Abyss is because the top counters are already pretty well established. Aegon, Doom, Magneto, Nick Fury, Human Torch, I mean all those champs have more or better utility than CGR, at least for Abyss, and they all have reasonably good damage for their respective matchups. CGR does have some pretty useful utility, especially if he's duped, but the best thing he has to offer for these Abyss fights is damage. I mean his raw damage output is pretty high. The only thing is you can't always access this high damage output just due to the nodes and abilities that restrict you. Like Iron Man and Darkhawk auto-blocking everything, Thing and his protection, and that rock armor. You can't just always end your combos the way you want to, you have to watch the stacks. Quake, you can probably do Quake. Medusa, oof, there's the auto-block and the unstoppable buffs. Dupe might help, but I don't think the Damnation can take care of all of it. You probably will still get auto-blocked a couple of times. Mephisto, well, he's a mystic, you can't really use CGR on any mystic. Let me just look at part 1 and see the fights that he can work well for. So there's Omega Red, Quake, I suppose. Ghost, that's a pretty good matchup. Iron Man until the last 15%. Joe Fixit, I think he can work there. Howard the Duck. Cyclops, I'm not sure about that one. Just because you have to dex and, you know, parry at certain times. Aegon, you won't have offensive ability accuracy without using special attacks, so you won't get the power gain or the vigilance. And Invisible Woman, that's an interesting one actually. That could potentially work just because she takes full special 3 damage, even when the force field is up. And that's about it on part 1. So towards the end of this fight I had some slower rotations or slower cycles, but I still used special 2s because I had plenty of hits left to get the fight done pretty comfortably without the double furies. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm certainly having fun with this champ, you know, just playing around with him. There's so many different ways to play him and I really like that about him. But yeah, thank you for watching, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon.